At its surface, Nubby's Number Factory is a Plinko-style contraption given the trappings of a roguelike. You launch a small spherical protagonist down a pegboard, and watch values collide, combine, and grow. Runs revolve around steering outcomes through pegs, multipliers, and gates while trying to hit escalating numeric quotas. The presentation is bright and toy-like. Everything from the pegs to the score readouts is designed to make arithmetic feel tactile. Mechanically, the game treats numbers like physical objects. Upgrades and items modify how digits spawn, how they combine, and how the board reacts to impacts. You're not building equipment trees or learning attack windows, you're building flow. The angles, the timing, and the small chaotic economies of digits as they smash into one another. The tension comes from watching a calm cascade turn into an urgent scramble to meet the current quota. Visually and sonically, the factory leans into whimsy. Cheerful UI, exaggerated counters, and the odd apocalyptic gag that frames failure as dramatic. The loop is quick and experimental. Each run is a short experiment in trajectory that ends the moment your quota is missed. Ball Pit centers on a deceptively simple act, launching and bouncing balls through rooms filled with hazards and enemies. The core combat is built around ricochet behavior, ball fusion, and special ball effects. Weight, spin, elemental traits, and on-impact gimmicks alter how a single projectile behaves across a stage. You pilot characters who seek out balls to plunge deeper into a pit, and each bounce can produce emergent chain damage when it hits terrain or foes. Between runs, there's a persistent meta layer. Resources collected during dives are spent to unlock new balls, heroes, and base upgrades. That meta progression ties the short kinetic runs together. Experiments with ball types and bounces in one session feed different options for the next, producing a loop that alternates frantic physics with slow, structural unlocks. Rooms are built to reward precise angles and reward creative use of special balls rather than brute force. Every collision feels meaningful, not because of raw numbers, but because momentum and geometry are the instruments through which you shape each encounter. SWAPMEAT is a co-op action roguelike built around a single, grotesquely inventive idea. Enemies drop body parts that you can graft onto yourself to gain new abilities. Legs, arms, heads, and torsos are functional objects. Attaching a specific limb changes movement, stamina, or attacks, while head or arm grafts provide a new action or passive effects. Runs are therefore improvisational. Your build is the literal composition of the limbs you've scavenged. You clear rooms, rip parts from foes mid-fight, and immediately decide whether to swap them in for a situational advantage. A mismatched set of graphs can create surprising synergies or spectacular failures in movement and offense. Noita is a magical action roguelike, where the world itself is simulated at the pixel level, and your tools are custom spells. Spells are constructed by combining components, and each projectile, element, and environmental material interacts according to physical rules. Liquids flow, materials burn or melt, gases react, and collisions trigger emergent outcomes. Gameplay emphasizes experimentation as well. You explore procedurally generated caves while forging new spell combinations, and many runs end because an environmental interaction you set off cascades into catastrophic chain reactions. Often, you die to the world you helped create. A single cast can rearrange terrain, ignite a volatile chain, or liquefy support beneath your feet, because so much is simulated. Discovery is frequent and surprising. The game is as much a sandbox of elemental interactions as it is a traditional run-based challenge. Blueprints places you in Mount Holly, a manor whose rooms are composed and recomposed like cards in a draft. Exploration is the engine. When you open a door, you choose or draft what room appears next, and each room is its own designed puzzle, logic contraption, or strange encounter. The game frames progress not as leveling, but as accumulating pattern knowledge about the house's blueprints and interactions. Mechanically, the title plays like a puzzle adventure with roguelike scaffolding. Rooms are modular blueprints drawn from a pole. Their internal rules matter, and the sequence in which you encounter them determines what options you'll have later. The act of moving through the manor becomes an exercise in deduction, pattern recognition, and route planning rather than conventional combat or loot grinding. The tone is quiet and curious. Rooms are often solitary puzzles that invite inspection rather than reflex. The mansion hides mechanical logic in its architecture, and the pleasure comes from understanding how rooms combine and how small choices about which door to open change the shape of the run.